Lord. Hey,
so
listen.
we have been losing weight.
Yeah.
And we notice different things about our body, right? I noticed that when I do a cheat day, or when they give us a cheat day and I have sugars or I have anything that's got dairy in it, I notice that, there's more mucus. I notice that I'm more tired during the day. I noticed all those different things about my body. So it's been really good just to know and learn about your body as you're eating certain foods. So it's been great.
It's been great.
I felt like a lab rat the first week, but it's been great.
But hey, ain't gonna slim, man. We've been walking through the airport. We ain't out of breath.
Not as tired as we used to be. Yes.
And what I'm about to say is going to lead us right into tonight's conversation. And let's just say our fun in the bedroom has been lasting a little longer. Hallelujah. Glory.
Right.
Everybody lift your hands and tell the Lord thank you. Hallelujah. And a lot more fun.
So our kitchen conversation tonight.
Hey, listen.
Oh, we got questions, comments.
My bad. Questions, comments.
So say hello, family. It's been a while.
What it do, Slim? We glad you here.
And got some ones.
Hey.
Seems like Ladybug and Sergio Doc's the only one who missed you, sadly. So.
Oh.
I appreciate y'all. Hey, Ladybug, Search the Doc. Y'all know. Hey. Y'all know I got you. Hey, Ladybug, don't forget. I won't say don't forget, but just know that we are still praying for you and believing that God will continue to do what He already said that He was going to do. Amen. I'm talking about wholeness. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you got, baby?
Then they love the energy.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
How are y'all doing this fine evening?
Hey, we about to get it in.
Great.
Are you ready?
It's a good day.
Are you? Woo! Woo! Oh, baby.
Y'all.
See y'all, he got this
it's
energy.
Always
energy.
something.
I miss y'all, man. I miss you.
Oh my gosh, always something. Lord have mercy.
I miss you.
When someone asks for prayer, who's going through a difficult time in work, with work.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. We got you.
Got you for sure.
And someone else said, I love my wife's shirt. Now that's brownie points right there.
Hey.
You don't see the small print.
you don't see the small print, Slim. Hey, baby, go read the small print to a website.
It says, I love it when my wife lets me buy car parts.
Hey, get at me.
So all the other things are in the fine print, and then all you see is that I love my wife. It got me the first time too. It got me the first time.
Hey, listen, all I know how to do.
Oh, and then I was like, wait
a minute. What that say?
What did I say?
Wait a minute. Hey, D, I see you, and I want you to know that I also got we also got your message, and I'm just putting like this. Yes, we are believing God on your behalf, and I do understand the process of what you are going through. So catch us on couples prayer, but we are praying with you and for you, because it's going to turn around. Go ahead.
And then someone else said, gotta work out at our age, 41, but I'm still fit.
Ooh,
hey,
I told you.
I'm 44, baby. Yeah.
Listen, that thing is real. I was showing some properties yesterday to a client, and I'm trying to figure out why my thighs is burning.
Yeah,
like they are burning, y'all. I'm like, dang, did I do that much walking?
Why they was burning?
Was it because I was on my tippy toes because they were still doing work inside of the house? I don't know why.
You could put no bits.
I was like, Jesus,
that's
a lot of work. More questions, comments?
Questions, comments. I'm ready to dive in while I cut this salad. Holla at me.
So,
listen.
Oh, someone said, love that Bajul water bottle.
Oh, thank you. Y'all, I'm going to put the link in the bio. Thank you so much.
Hey.
This motivates me to drink water.
Hey, y'all better, I'm going to say that right there.
You going to hide up my bottle?
No, you can't hide all that bedazzle.
Right next to it.
Boom. There it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Someone else said, thank you and prayers for their aunt. She's been in a bad car accident.
Okay.
All right.
So we got the
work
difficult situation, and then the aunt. We will absolutely be praying for them.
All right.
And we'll do that before we end the live tonight as well.
Right.
So, all right. So tonight, y'all. Tonight.
Hey, are y'all ready? Well, hold on real quick before we jump into tonight. Real quick, if you would like to be a part of our community, please go ahead follow us on Facebook, Marriage Takeover Body of One group. Make sure you get in the group. Answer the 3 questions, please. You can only get access by answering the 3 questions. All right.
someone also said Holland. I don't know the background, maybe y'all know.
They
said Holland.
Holland.
All right.
Welcome all the way from Holland. Okay.
All right. So hey,
I love it.
What we got? What we got? What's on the combo for tonight, baby?
The combo for tonight. I don't know if y'all saw the conversation thingamajig, but here's why you not getting no punani.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Right?
Let's talk about it.
Here's why.
Get it on.
Right, we've been talking about like intimacy for a while, and different things about intimacy, and different things like, you know, what's going on and why you're not getting it and why you frustrated, and it's because sex is a reward of intimacy.
What you mean by that? It's a reward.
You are, like when we're not taking care of the home front.
Hold on, ask a question. Hey, do me a favor. Just put in the chat how you feel about intimacy. Is it A, do you have enough intimacy? B, not enough intimacy? Or C, in between? Just don't
Miss Leslie, how you doing, boo?
Don't put that in the chat.
So say, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Come on. So here's why you're not getting no punani, right? When you are like, we talk to a lot of couples, right? We talk to and even in our own like marriage, y'all, it'll be 25 years next week. It'll be 25 years next week. So even inside of our own marriage, there was a time where our own marriage was a sexless marriage.
Meaning you don't get none.
You don't get none. The well is dry.
Well, I don't even think there was a well.
The well was dry, y'all. And so there are a lot of different factors. Now we're not talking about medical issues. We're not talking about different things that are like, seriously, this is why you're not getting, because physically my body can't do that. Physically, I can't do that, or even sometimes mentally there is some type of mental stress that you are under that you aren't able to do that, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about if you are healthy in your body, you are going and you just like, I want none.
But hold on though.
Yeah, you ain't getting none.
But check it out though. But even because
Please don't cut yourself.
I got you, baby. Because the one thing that even if you having those medical issues, there are still ways to get off. So I'm just gonna leave that right there. Go ahead, baby. We're gonna dive into it. Because you still have got to like prepare that thing, if you will, if you understand.
But there are certain situations and times where you just can't because your body's not able to.
Got you. Okay, I see where you're coming from. My bad. That's right. My bad. Go ahead, baby. What you got? What's the problem?
Is that? Oh,
lettuce. Is your hands clean?
I just washed them. I knew you was gonna say that. I just washed them.
Listen, can y'all tell her quit digging in the bowl?
I just washed them.
Yeah, tell her to stay out my bowl.
So when things get comments. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Say something.
Cause we about to roll in this joint.
Go ahead and talk, but there's something about he clean hands.
Go ahead. My bad, baby. Go ahead.
See, I got a B. Someone said not enough. Someone said kind of. They said what's a collar? Collar.
Okay, we're in between.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Someone said B. Someone said I'm single, so none.
Okay. Right answer. Who was that?
Don't mix your
Steve Harvey. Right answer.
And someone said I don't get enough. And then someone else said, I'm 51, I get way more than enough.
Okay. Alright, you better work that.
Listen, I need to drink some of that you drinking.
Hey, watch out now. Hey, what you drinking, Slim? What you drinking? We got to, what you drinking?
Oh, then Auntie's on. She said, hey, family.
Hey,
what it do, Slim? What up, sis? So, go ahead, break that joint down, Slim.
So, in those moments, it's like, okay, so why am I not getting any, right? Okay. What is taking place that I'm not getting it? Is the disconnection gone? Are you too busy? Are you not making time for each other?
With that, I want you to drop in the chat, just, if you can say, why I'm not getting some. Just because I want you to just kind of think about it. I just put them on like, I got it, boo. I got it.
Okay.
But
or I'm too busy, or we miss each other because sometimes your schedules are different where you might work during the day and your spouse might work at night. what are some of the other reasons? Y'all just not talking. Y'all not getting along. Like y'all just like your. Sometimes we as women will do certain things that'll say, I'm just closing a cookie jar. So because I'm mad, because I'm not happy, you don't get none.
Ooh, baby. Are you telling me, are you weaponizing your pussy? Oh, I mean your punani. Your punani.
Come on.
Are you...
So we had this whole conversation about what we was going to say, what we was not going to say, so we don't get censored.
Yeah, sorry. You mean to tell me you are weaponizing your punani? And fellas, you mean to tell me you are weaponizing that D? That's a problem. Go ahead.
So when you think about like all the different things and the reasons why you aren't, then the question is, okay, well, what do you have control over?
Woo!
What do you have control over?
What you got control over?
Because if we're not communicating and there's a disconnect, and I'm feeling like, well, just because I'm not happy, you can't be happy.
Come on, say that. Say that. Say that.
Let me first say that is a form of manipulation and a form of witchcraft.
Yes, it is.
Because I don't get what I want, I'm not giving you what you want.
Oh, wait a minute.
Number one, right?
Oh, you mean to tell me? Hold on. So you mean to tell me you did some witchcraft on me, girl?
I have in my days of marriage. I have. These are my confessions.
Hey, but it's real. It's real.
Let me be mad. Don't touch me. Don't talk to me. We be in a heated debate. Okay, you know what I'm doing. You know how
3 days later.
One of our followers used to say the pillow wall. You know how you put that pillow wall up, or how you turn over to the side and you turn your back to your spouse because you don't want to be bothered. Listen,
you in a twin size bed, and I don't feel like a king because you so far apart.
Listen,
but hey,
these are my confessions.
but look at it though, because a lot of times when we look at that, so when we look at women, I ain't got the one I want. I don't like this. Where's my other? No, I got it.
I got the one that I like, the favorite one, mine. Oh, is this it?
No, I don't want to scratch that one. This one right here works. And so the thing is, it's like, okay, now what do you think that we should do? Now, let me ask you this question. When do you think foreplay starts? In the morning? In the afternoon? When you want some? But just drop it in the chat. Just tell me when you think foreplay starts. Go ahead, baby.
Someone said, I might need to exit.
Someone
said, censored.
I promise you, we gonna keep it clean, but we gonna get to the issue.
Yeah, we gonna get to it.
We like to keep it real. We like to keep it raw.
And uncut, Slim.
Uncut. So we do. So here is, what was the question you asked, baby?
So when do you think foreplay starts? When do you think it starts? In the morning, in the afternoon, or when you want some?
Foreplay should always be in play.
No, baby, they gotta put it in the chat.
Somebody said what? I see. Is that morning? Somebody said morning. Somebody say it's all throughout the day. See, that's what I'm talking about. She see me. She feel me. She understands. It should be all throughout the day.
Oh, listen, you get too excited.
It should never ever stop. It should never ever stop. Because here's the thing. A lot of times what we view or what we think, honey, you said you had the eggs, right?
I got this.
The water is gone.
Get somewhere. Can y'all tell her to get somewhere and sit down?
The water is gone, y'all. And he got the eggs. Y'all ever boil an egg and forget that it was boiling and the water
get popping like popcorn.
So it should take place all throughout the day. Sometimes what we've been conditioned with understanding foreplay is it's the thing that takes place right before you get ready to do it. Well, it's not. Right? The foreplay is actually you loving on your spouse, you appreciating your spouse, you like effectively communicating with your spouse, you sitting and just watching Netflix with your spouse, you holding hands with your spouse,
Netflix and chill.
You going and just kissing your spouse on the forehead just because you see them and you just are in that moment for that time. You just checking on your spouse to see how they doing, just saying, hey, I love you. We call those love drops. Like when you are appreciating your spouse and you are telling your spouse how much you appreciate them, how much you love them, how much they mean to you, like those are love drops.
So I'm gonna ask you a question.
And love drops is foreplay.
Right, and that's what it is. So I want to know, how many of you make love throughout the day? I just drop it in that joke because, and then and just say, give me a 1 if you do, give me a 2 if you don't, but give me a 3 if it's not consistent. Ooh.
What's good, Durant Enterprises? All the way from Florida.
Florida. We hear you, T-Pain, look good.
Hey, welcome. We love you too.
So yes, text messages, nice letters, touchy-feely kissing, phone calls, yes. And someone else said I love my husband. Someone else said, well, 2 people said 3.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
And a lot of people said like all day or in the morning.
Yes.
And then one person said, let's just say we get us. That's how I got pregnant 3 times in a row.
Okay.
Come on now.
I ain't mad at you. You get it.
Right. And so some people they get it. Some people it takes time.
Right.
Right. So if you get it, then go ahead and make sure that you sharing some other things as how you consistently get it, because I know. So what we do know is true in most situations. There's one spouse that has a high sex drive and another spouse that has a low sex drive.
Right.
So then the question is, how do we balance it out?
How we balance that?
How do we make sure that we're both being satisfied, that we both not running crazy, that we both not just going insane because one is more satisfied than the other.
Right.
So then there's a compromise that has to take place. So then, the question is, okay, well, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, and because they're not doing this, I'm not giving this.
Ooh.
Okay, so then we start in the middle. So
right.
At midway points, right? I love you and I want to make sure that you are satisfied.
Right.
So in this process, have a conversation.
Have a conversation.
What are you into? Like, what do you like? What can we do? How can we enjoy? And some people say I don't like to schedule because it's
I like to be spontaneous.
Right, it's not authentic.
Right.
Well, if you have to schedule, but still make it spontaneous.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Like you already know that's what's gonna take place. That make it spontaneous.
Right. Have fun with it.
Do things that are going to please your spouse.
So I'm gonna ask a question. Who actually have the conversation about your sex, about your time of having intimacy with intimacy with one another, on what you like, what you don't like? Because a lot of times we be trying to do something thinking we doing it, but it's not really satisfied. And that's both on the wife and the husband. And then sometimes we could just be going through the motions. But now I gotta ask myself, why am I just going through the motions? Because in my mind, there should always be an enjoyment. Because at one point, I remember wifey was like, I'm like, yo, you ain't doing nothing. This ain't good. And you know what she said? She said, well, you ain't make love to me all day. But what she was saying was, my love tanks are empty.
Listen, you ain't made love to me all day and now you want me to flip tricks.
Hey, turn them, baby. Turn on.
Let's talk about how we both can meet each other's needs.
Right.
And then, so somebody's got to initiate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at what point somebody's got to take the first step and say, okay, I'm going to do this.
Right.
And then when you do that, okay, and here's the thing. Because somebody might say, well, I do that and I still don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then have the conversation. Hey, babes.
Like, what's the deal?
Like, what's going on?
Right.
And then don't allow your pride to
get in the way. Yes.
Because maybe it's good, maybe it's not good.
Right.
Maybe I can be doing something else during that time frame, but if you won't know that unless you have the conversation.
Right. Listen.
And in having that conversation, do something different.
Right. Because listen, this is like honestly, I'm gonna just tell you about our conversation. She said to me, she was like, it ain't good. I'm like, what you mean? I'm a freaking stallion, you feel me? Yeah, black. Hey, you understand. ... But it was like, okay, why isn't it? So now I need to know, because I told her, I said, listen, Shawty, listen. Honestly, it kind of goes both ways. But guess what? We sat down and had the conversation.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, once I put my pride aside, like, hold on, Slim. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. I got to be careful with what I say.
Yeah, be careful.
Be careful.
So,
but it's being able to have that. It's being able to have that conversation and being honest, because a lot of times
I don't think they can see you, baby.
I'm sorry.
They can hear you, but they can't see you.
Because
you need help with.
No, I grab that lid for me. I need to shake it up. Because a lot of times when we are trying to go through the motions, a lot of times the fulfillment of your wife, it might not be the sex. It might be just the foreplay. And what you mean by that? I mean by how you appreciate her, about how you see her, about how you hear her. Even as well, it goes that for me, because there's a lot of men that may not like that may not have a high sex drive, but in the fact that you see him, that you adore him, that you actually show him like, yo, you mine regardless. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that we gotta also look at, because understand, sex is now, we understand love making is just not in the bedroom. What happens in the bedroom is what makes it and what makes it exciting. What happened? You all right? What you got?
No,
she got a question.
Not only that, but just like seasons change and your seasons change inside of your marriage,
right?
Your body changes.
Yes, it does.
And what you like in one season might be different.
You might not like it
in another season.
Right.
What you might want to explore in one season might be different in another season.
Right.
So having a conversation about where you are and what your desires are, what your needs are, is important.
Right.
And so don't be afraid to have the conversation.
Right.
Like, effective communication is key throughout your entire marriage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it crosses every barrier.
Oh, yeah.
So consider, like, what are we doing intimately?
Right.
Are we speaking every intimate language that's available to us?
Right.
Do we understand what our intimacy languages are?
Right.
Do we understand what our love languages are?
Come on, mama.
Are we speaking the right type of language, or are we just hitting and missing? And then we coming together at the end of the day and we're like, hey, babes, like, I'm here. I want some. I need some. Right. Because then it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? What is the purpose of our marriage? Like, what are we doing? Where are we going? What is the vision?
Right.
We really want to make sure that we are satisfying and we are loving each other.
Right.
And we really are making sure that we're both being satisfied throughout every area of our marriage. Now, there are some voids that our spouses, we just aren't going to be able to fill.
Right.
But when it comes to the sexual desires and the sexual plot, like, we should be able to at least meet halfway.
Right.
And if we can't, then let's have the conversation as to why.
Right.
Why aren't we being able to meet here? What are the displeasures? What is the dissatisfaction? What is bothering you? What is concerning you? What are you thinking about? What are you worrying about?
Right. Questions, comments?
Questions, comments? Nope.
Someone said it gotta be the dude starts the intimacy throughout the day.
Well, it's the dudes and the feet. Like, it's both of us.
It goes both ways. It goes both ways.
It's both of us with the intimacy both ways.
Right. Right. It's being able to, because look at it. When you look at intimacy, and in this case, we're talking about as far as sex, because intimacy, it is so much. I got it.
Well, they can't see you. Honey,
oh, okay. I got it. Somebody tell her to stay out there. This is called Chef E-Rock Salad. Somebody tell her get somewhere and sit down.
They can't see you.
And so this is the thing. It goes both ways. So I want you to understand. So when you have I know this is like sex ed, right? So when you have the intercourse, what it is, I am seeing into you. This is the reward.
No, the intimacy is.
Hear me. This is the reward of intimacy.
Even what you show can get us blocked.
Right.
I'm just letting you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't want to be blocked. But what I'm saying is, it works both ways. So you both have to be vulnerable with one another. You see what I'm saying? Because you look at it, when you're doing that, that's that time that you all are coming into oneness. That's why the word tells us that what? The wife and the husband become one flesh. That's the oneness. Woo! Come on. Go ahead.
And God created it.
And understand, He created that thing, right?
And so, everything He creates is good.
It's good. But He created it for marriage, just in case anybody's sitting out there looking. Go ahead. Babe, I got it. Go ahead, finish. Okay. Any questions, concerns, comments?
You guys have some questions.
Okay, bring the question.
Questions.
So it's like, you all put out a cookbook so I can cook like that. But you get on a 3rd grade level.
I got you, for sure.
And then, question is, what if the affection is gone?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a great question.
Hold on, but yeah. Ooh.
So what if the affection is gone? So then the question, and I hate to answer a question with a question, but then why is the affection gone?
Right.
What has taken place inside of your marriage, inside of your life, to where the intimacy has left?
Well, the affection.
What has taken place? Because oftentimes something is getting that intimacy.
Right.
Something is getting that attention. Whether it's the kids, whether it's the job, whether it's a new hobby, something is getting that affection.
Right.
So the question is, what is now getting that intimacy?
What is getting that affection?
So for me, it was like I am a very y'all know we transparent here. So I am very honest and open with like where my struggles were when we were not having when we were not enjoying our marriage. And even after that, when our marriage started to get good, just the time, I was a workaholic.
What?
So I'm not as bad. You still think I'm bad?
No, you better. Praise the Lord. We're going to celebrate every win. That's what we got to do.
I was going to say, you still think I'm bad? I had to get a serious moment. You still think I'm bad?
No, baby.
So I've done a lot of work to make sure that I understand not only and being mindful of the time that I am consuming with work, but understanding the root as to why. Why am I giving work so much of my attention?
Right.
Why is because literally, like, I will stay up, y'all. It could be like, we'll come and have dinner. I'll go back to work and it would be 11 o'clock. I'm in there till 1 o'clock sometimes in the morning just because I'm trying to get something done. So then the question is, well, Tamika, why is work consuming so much of your life? Like, it consumes your life. So if something is consuming my life and then I'm going to bed and then my wheels are still spinning inside of my head because I'm thinking about all the different things that I need to do and all what I need to take off my plate, then the question is, why is work taking up so much of your time?
Why is work taking your affection?
Right. Why is work taking your affection?
They responded children, and they said from their spouse, everything is priority over their relationship.
Right. And so now we have to figure out how to flip the priority.
Right.
Because, like I said, in my life, and I can only tell y'all about me, right? I ain't going to tell nobody else's business. But for me, work was a priority. Work came before church. Work came before God. Work came before husband. Work came before children. Work consumed my life. So I had to figure out, why is work consuming my life? Why am I putting all of my trust inside of this job that could be gone tomorrow, that if something happened to me, they're going to turn right around and refill my position, and somebody pass or die at work, what they going to do? They're going to toe tag you, take you to the hospital, call your people, and then post the vacancy. If not that same day, the very next day. So then I had to understand, why am I giving this all of my time? So when I got to the very root of it, was because I didn't want to be poor again. I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a place where I didn't have the things that I wanted.
Right.
In my mind, that was poverty.
Right.
Wasn't that? There were some days we almost went hungry, but thank God for a good grandmother who would always have some food available. But I did not want to go back to that. So what I told myself when I was a little girl was, I am going to do whatever is necessary to make sure that I can get to the bag so I never have to go back and live that life again.
Right.
That consumed everything. I mean, it literally consumed everything.
I ain't gonna do that to
you. Where my kids were like, you're not going to do what to me, baby? Yeah, put some on top.
All right.
You can. Where the kids was like, oh yeah, mama working. Don't bother mommy when she working. Don't, like, it was a thing. Like, everybody in the house knew. So then the question is, why is this a priority, and how do I flip the priority?
Right. And
how can I take my trust out of this job? Yeah, we have to work to pay bills. Yeah, we have to do certain things, but that's not the life that God designed for us to have.
Right.
He wants us to be able to live in abundance. Right. So changing the mindset.
Right.
It had to start there. Changing the mindset, not to allow it to control me, but me to control it.
Right. That's it. That's it. That's it.
And then shifting my priorities.
Right.
When I lead with God, I'm telling y'all, when I lead, and I promise y'all, I promise you, this is not no cliche. This is what I know that I know that I know that I know. When I lead with God, God is faithful.
Yeah, come on.
Even sometimes when I don't lead with God, God is still faithful.
Yes.
But when I lead with Him, His favor shines upon everything that I do, everything that I put my hands to, everything that I touch. Because that was my prayer to Him. I said, now God, if I'm trusting you in this area, I need for you to show up because you know your girl, you know how I am, you know what I like, you know what I desire. And so if I'm leading and I'm giving you everything, and he's given us everything in abundance, he's given us everything and more than we could even think or imagine. He's given us the keys to have access to every single inheritance. We were in White's Lounge last night and we were reading in Ephesians 1 how God has given us all spiritual blessings.
Yeah.
So if he's given us all spiritual blessings, he wants us to be in abundance and to live in abundance, then why am I going to have my target and my focus solely as a priority on just this job?
Come on.
When God can bless in every area. And so when I shifted that and I started to focus more on what God wanted for my life, and I started to spend more time with my family, I started to do all those other things. God was like, I'm going to make this easy for you, boo. Sometimes we make it so hard.
Yep.
I'm going to make this easy for you.
Hey, boy, I like that one, girl. Yeah. Yep.
So we shifted the narrative.
Right.
Questions, comments.
Alright. So she said, right, I feel that's a big part of his perspective. When I said having children has stopped our romance. They've been pregnant 4 times since 2020 and she's due in August. And then someone said my menopause has tried to take over their marriage physically, but they persevere through. Yeah. And then someone said that their husband comes home from work, eats, sits in a chair and sleeps, but he thinks it's quality time, but she is turned off. And then someone else said their husband's attention is social media when they're home, but when they're around the kingdom, it's family.
Whoa!
So it's about shifting the narrative, right?
Whoa, hold on. Ooh,
it's about shifting the narrative.
I got to dive on this one because there is so much truth in what you just said. And so now, oh my God. I just want to know, is your husband next to you during that? Fellas, let me tell y'all something, especially those that are in the body of Christ, okay? Listen. If you are putting the church before your marriage, you are out of order. Ask me how I know. Where do you see the church being built in Genesis? You don't see it. Where do you see the temple being built in Genesis? Show me. But what do you see being built in Genesis? Marriage. Now, let me ask you a question. Give me a 1. No, give me a. Wait a minute. Help me on to say this. Leave this alone. That's enough onion.
It's enough. It's bad piece in there.
I know. That's why I just took it out. I've been taking it out. Can y'all tell her to stay out of Iraq shelf salad?
I am so hungry. I'm trying to
we about to eat. But hey, listen. Let me help you out with this because let me ask you this question. Do you think marriage is a kingdom assignment?
Well, baby, just tell him.
Just up with Darn. Okay, just tell you. Listen. Marriage is a kingdom assignment. So you cannot be, how you not spend time or quality time with your spouse, but then you want to fake the funk. Because one thing about it, the enemy has a way of setting you up to expose you. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, it's going to be that day where you ain't listen to your wife about something that was getting ready to take place, but now the enemy will set you up because now you didn't spend that time with your wife so that she can let you know what is getting ready to take place. But what you do, you walk into the hole because yet you did not spend the time with her to understand that there is a hole in your path.
Baby, why are you yelling?
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm very passionate when it comes down to this because we have seen so many marriages fail. We've seen so many marriages of disappointed wives, disappointed husbands. Why? Because they're putting the church before the marriage. Now, I'm going to be honest, I love the church that we go to, Rainbow Worship Center. Why? Because every 5th Sunday, they close doors and it's like, no, that is family day. Meaning what? You go spend time with your family. And this past Sunday was 5th Sunday. I'm sorry. And we had a ball. And that helped with our connection. Because even now, I'm just saying, it also caused the drive to be a whole lot more. So you got to begin to understand. And don't get me wrong, because I know a lot of us, yes, we do have a calling on our lives, but don't you know that God is a God of order? So now you got to understand the calling on your life. Are you working it out through religion? Are you working it out through kingdom? Because if you're working it out through religion, of course, you're going to be just like the Pharisees and Sadducees. But if you're working it out through kingdom, understand, yes, we have a calling on our lives. But hey, we done went to Puerto Rico in a time of where we had time to have fun with each other and still take care of ministry. So what I'm saying is, no. If you're gonna do it, if you can do it at the church, why can't you do it at home? Because guess what? Even your spiritual gifts works out first at home, not in the church. I'm gonna drop the mic on that one real quick. That one just kind of got under my skin. Why? Because how can you say you can lay hands on the sick and they recover, but you can't lay hands on the sick that's in your home? That's a problem for me.
And from everything you said was right. Everything you said was right. That tickles, baby. So everything you said was absolutely right.
So, not for the salad.
I apologize.
Your mama and me don't play in front of the food.
I apologize if it felt like I was hollering. I'm very passionate because I'm tired of the enemy trying to take out our marriages because of the power that rests in the marriage, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. Go ahead, baby.
And just know that it's a setup from the enemy,
yes,
right?
It is.
Everything is good with moderation.
Hey, do y'all want pickles?
You don't put pickles in the salad?
Yeah.
What the pickles gonna do?
Make it taste good. Because pickles add a little salt.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think I ever had pickles. Y'all had pickles in y'all salad before?
That's why I said this is a Chef Iraq salad, Slim. She always trying to make it hers.
He's so fresh. Life coach with Didi said, you so fresh.
Listen, we got to keep it rolling. You feel me?
So understand that it's a set up from the enemy. So if the social media is now coming and it's interfering with your marriage and it's now becoming a priority, then it's a setup. Right? Anything that comes before God, number one, is a setup. It's an idol. Anything that comes before God is an idol. Yes, questions, comments.
Oh yeah, people said that pickles and salad are good.
Really?
Thank you.
My bad.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna get some tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Still in front of salad.
Okay. Cassandra, hold on one second. Cassandra say, oh, I see you, pickles and salty and acidity. I see you, chef.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make it do what it do. You feel me?
I said, what the pickles gonna do? Because I was trying to figure out how the flavor was gonna mix with the salad. Go ahead, questions, comments.
And someone asked, what if the trust has broken, but you are trying to work it out, but you just can't get back to where it was?
Oh, that's always so hard.
Right. And can I say this?
Yeah.
Understand this.
That's hard.
It's a journey. And understanding, can it get back to where it was? At a degree. When I say it can get back like this, why? Because when you have truly forgiven where the trust was broken, it's not saying you forget. No, you're going to remember what took place that caused the mistrust. But when you release that thing, it's a journey. Yeah. Because guess what? When you go off track, like when you're driving in your car and you miss your turn, you know either you're going to have to make a U-turn, but if you can't make no U-turn, now you got to go to that next road that's going to put you back on your journey. And that's what happens. Because the thing is that a lot of times when that mistrust happens, what takes place? The enemy trying to run nothing but division in it. Why? Because understanding that when you all can trust one another, do you know how much you all can build? And that's the thing. And so it's like, okay, you know what? It happened. I'm not saying that it's okay, but it's like it happened, but I have to forgive you and I have to forgive myself. Y'all see who eating the food this time, right? And I have to forgive myself and I have to forgive you. But it can come a whole lot close to where it once was. Especially when you have forgiven wholeheartedly. And like honestly, because guess what? We've had our run-ins with mistrust. Yeah. And I'm gonna be so honest with you. In my mind, and you can ask her, she right here, but in my mind, we're back to where it was, to where it was. Because, and I'll be honest with you, it's actually better than what it was. Because why? We've forgiven one another. I've forgiven myself. And I begin to just move in that. Because guess what? We are going to have moments where we mess up. Now, I'm not saying, especially if you're talking about infidelity, no. That's a whole other ball game. But if I did something and lost, like if I lied to you and what I lied about was very detrimental, you can get back to getting better. It can be better, but it's the forgiveness that has to be done wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and it starts with making a decision.
Yeah.
Every single day, every single moment. And one of the reasons why it's so hard is because not only are you fighting against your own mental thought process and the movie reel and everything else that you're playing inside of your own head, but you're also playing against the past, what actually took place. Mm-hmm. So you have to really make a decision every day if you're going to make that decision, and every moment that that something else is coming up. And right, you just have to make that decision.
Right. It's just like
go
ahead. No, you got it.
I'm gonna leave the moderator over here hungry and alone. Y'all all eating stuff. I'm sitting here in the corner. Anyways,
hand this to the moderator. Tell her
you didn't even put any vinegar in here, no dressing on here.
Because it's in here.
Go ahead. Questions, comments. We gonna get you, baby. We gonna get you fed, baby.
Questions, comments.
Someone said, "Love this shirt." And someone said, "Me and my husband's stillbirth situation almost destroyed everything. We grieved and came back together."
I love it.
Someone else, they asked, "What about when there was infidelity? Can that be healed?"
Yep.
And someone else asked how to forgive infidelity.
So infidelity can be healed, right? Infidelity, huh?
What she said?
So infidelity can be healed, but you have to make a step to do something different, right? You make a decision to start over. But what we have to do is make sure that the infidelity is stopped, right? You can't keep in your own selfishness, still going out and doing what you're doing and thinking that the restoration and the healing process is going to take place, right? You can't do that. But we would love to be able to help you through that process. If you want to get through that process, we offer marriage coaching, and we have a membership where we support couples to be able to get out of that space. It's possible. Now, it's a lot of work. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to you and nobody else. It's a lot of work. You want this one, baby?
Wait to eat the main meal with y'all.
Oh, you want salad dressing or something with it? Okay. So I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to you and nobody else, but it can work.
Yes, it can.
It can absolutely work. And that's whether it was sexually or emotionally affair. It can absolutely work. But the behavior has to stop. You have to accept responsibility for what was done, and you have to go through the healing process and be patient as you're both going through that healing process.
Right. And I understand when you talk about when you're talking about the infidelity. You got the one that it was done to, and you got the one that did it.
Right.
And so understand, both of you still have to go through a process. So the one that did it is not doing, you just get over it. No. Even if it was emotional, that's a moment, because now you got to deal with the betrayal. Yeah. You got to deal with the lack of trust.
Yeah.
Now you're fighting all of these things.
And the insecurities.
And the
result. Yeah. So that's why I said it's a lot of work. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to nobody. It's work. It's a lot of work. So if you want to go through the process to do the work, it's worth it. Absolutely worth it. And so if you want to go through that process, absolutely. It's possible, but it's going to take a lot of work.
It's going to take some work.
It's going to take a lot of work. And then so we got a question that says, what do you say to a couple that has split up because he drinks too much and he thinks she's a flirter? So that's a great question.
Because now that comes to an addiction.
Well. So number one, I will say this. A lot of times we feel like we are alone when we're going through different things inside of our marriage. And so number one, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that you are not alone.
Right.
Number two, I want you to know that it doesn't have to always be this way.
Right.
The way that it is.
Right.
There's a reason when you have any type of addiction, whether it's a smoking addiction, whether it's a sex addiction, whether it's a drinking addiction, whether it's a working addiction, any type of addiction, there is a root to the addiction.
Right. There's a cause, a reason.
So the question is, especially when you're thinking that maybe your spouse is a flirter as a result of whatever is going on, the question that I would pose to the other spouse is, what are you afraid of? So in this particular case, it says that because he's drinking too much and then he thinks that she's a flirter. So to the husband, I would ask the question, number one, what are you afraid of and what are you hiding?
Right.
What are you trying to protect?
Right.
Right? What is at the deepest layer of your insecurity?
Right.
That you don't want anybody else to know.
Right.
And every time it comes up to try to haunt you, every time it comes up to try to expose it, every time something takes place, you drink alcohol because you want it to go away.
Right. You go to the addiction because you want it to go away.
So the question that I would have is, what are you trying to protect yourself from? What is plaguing you?
Right. Right.
And to the wife who is having to, deal with it on the other end and having to go through the process, sis, make sure that you are working on you. You have done nothing wrong.
Right. Come on, mama.
Make sure that you are in a place to where you are becoming the best version of who you are.
Come on, mama.
And who you're supposed to be in your purpose in life.
Yes.
And that you're going through a process of your healing.
Come on,
because
mama.
even through that, sometimes when you are in an abusive relationship, you go through a process where sometimes the spouse unknowingly and sometimes knowingly try to badger you and tear you down.
Right.
And so even going through that process, go through that process of your healing so that you know that, listen, I need to make sure that I'm healed and that I'm whole so that I can sanctify you. I need to make sure that I'm healed and I am whole so that I can cover you. I need to make sure that I am healed and that I am whole so that I can make sure that I am standing in the gap like I'm supposed to stand in the gap for you.
Come on. Come on, mama.
And know that this does not have to be your end.
Right.
If you have to separate because you want to get to safety, if you have to separate because you are looking for change, because you have to separate because you're hearing the apologies, and sometimes when we apologize without the behavior, sometimes something needs to take place so the behavior can change.
Ooh.
And so in this space, sit in the pocket and make sure that you're going through your healing so that you can become the best version of who God has called for you to be.
Right.
So that you can stand in the gap for him.
When God can work, and God can, and you continue to stand in the gap as you continue to better you. And because we've seen God turn it around.
We've seen him turn it around.
We've seen deliverance take place. And we've seen reunitement take place.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that one thing that I will say with that. Understand and know that it's not your fault.
It is not your fault. It is not your fault.
And that's the thing. So as long as you continue to move in, it's not for you. So as you continue to move in what God has declared over your life and for your life, guess what? I know that things will work itself out. Is it a hard place that you're in? Yeah, it is. We understand that. So this is the thing, because at one point, there's going to always come a point where a person's going to have that moment to say, you know what? I do need help.
Yeah. And things aren't going to change until they say they need help.
Right.
Not so much so when they say that they need help, but when they go get the help. The first thing is they have to identify that there is a problem. And sometimes they don't even know that there is a problem.
Right.
So it's not until they can, one, identify that there is a problem, they need help, and then two, when they go and get the help. And you may not be able to help them in that moment.
Right.
Because they have to make a decision that I want to be better.
Right.
So you just got to stand in the gap for them. Questions, comments? Yes.
I just want to say, definitely repeat it, and I've been trying my hardest to get through. And this one else, I really appreciate you both for the good words of encouragement. And then someone was saying that Monday they were at a funeral and her husband didn't introduce her and she felt embarrassed. And,
sorry to hear that.
And
I know you feel it.
Someone said the lack of trust and insecurities are main issues. And then someone said, "Hey y'all."
Hey.
What it do?
And then someone asked, "Why some people wait till they get married then cheat?" And then someone else said, 36 years in, I totally agree that drinking may have started due to insecurity, but drinking has a stronghold.
It does.
And then, hey, Ricky Hawkins is back. He said, "Hey y'all, how's it going?"
Hey, what's good? What's good?
Where you been, Rick?
Then someone asked, how do you let me scroll back up to this top. How do I not make my 1 and 2 year old the main priority over intimacy?
So, set boundaries.
Work down, baby, work it.
Set boundaries, right? And it's hard when the kids are young, but set boundaries because kids, no matter what age they are, sometimes they don't understand, right? They want to be the center of life because they are the center of life, right?
I got a 21. I got a 23-year-old
who still think he should be the center of our life.
No.
So you schedule time, right? The kids aren't always up. You schedule time and you set boundaries. There are times where the kids can be playing together. There are times where you can set aside, what's the thing? It's been a long time, y'all, since we had kids. But the little thing that the kids can play on, that the baby can play on, that's going to occupy their time for a minute. You spend certain times doing that. And so as you do that, then you carve out, okay, well, we're going to get this particular time set aside for just us. What are we going to do in that particular time? If you trust people, we were not advocates of trusting people with our kids. So we didn't have a whole lot of people keep our kids.
And we wasn't around family.
And we were not around family. Our family are hours away.
Oh, shoot. Thousands of miles away.
Right. So what we did do was we set aside time and said, okay, well, we're going to do this in this particular moment. We're going to do this on this day. So on this day, don't schedule nothing on this day. I'm going to make sure that we do whatever we got to do to make sure that the baby is asleep, the baby is doing what the baby need to do so that we can spend time together.
And listen, even if you got to get a pillow, be careful that you don't put it over your nose. Just put it over your mouth. When the baby go to sleep, that's when it's time to go get a quickie. I'm gonna tell you, this is stuff that we had to do.
This was the stuff that we literally did, and so we had to create opportunities, and they were spontaneous, like silly moments. Like there were moments where, like sometimes, like the baby.
I want to tell this one real quick. I remember the one time she thought I was sexy because Aaliyah had just caught me. She was the only one that was able to catch vomit on me, and she thought vomit on me was sexy. And she was like, ooh, is she asleep? I put it down. She said, Kimmy, I got to show you something. Here I am, thinking she got to show me something. Next thing I know, praise the Lord. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
And so it is being able to catch those moments.
Right.
Because during that time, that's when it's spontaneous. That's when it's a whole lot of fun.
Right.
Think about it. You got to open up your mind. When I say you got to think, put it like this. That's when we have learned that we can minister all over the house. See this countertop? Yeah, praise the Lord.
Don't do that, baby. People ain't gonna want to eat a crab boil.
I'm just saying you gotta be spontaneous. Get it in where you can get it in. They make Clorox. Y'all got 4-9 Lysol. Stop playing with me.
The crab boil is at a whole different level, y'all. Like y'all for real. We did keep this one sanctified.
It's sanctified.
I can't even get my words out. Stop.
Yes, it is sanctified. Yes, it is. Hallelujah. Glory.
So
retie my bow tie.
And then when the babies are asleep, you sleep. That way, you are not as tired and as drained. So you sleep when the babies are asleep. Because oftentimes what we have a habit of doing is, okay, well, now that the babies are asleep, I'm going to get this and this and this and this done. And instead of doing this and this and this and this, when they go to sleep, you go to sleep. They take a nap, you take a nap. Mm-hmm. So you're not as exhausted by the end of the day.
And fellas, help your wife out with them kids. Because, listen, you have fun, maybe you need to have fun raising them.
Not so much as just with the kids, but just around the house in general.
Yeah, whatever the case is. Help.
Sweep the floor. If you see the kids got the toys everywhere,
listen.
Come together and help them get into a routine to learn how to clean. Y'all remember the cleanup song? Listen.
Clean up.
Like coaching with Dee Dee, I'm telling you, she changed our entire world. When
back in the day when she had a daycare.
Yeah, when she had daycare and she would teach our son clean up. So when we told him to clean up, he was like, huh?
He started singing the song.
So when I came to go pick him up one day,
that's it.
He was cleaning up and they were singing the song. I said, what? He know how to clean up? Baby changed the whole game. So I was like, okay, so we started singing a cleanup song because in his mind, I'm not cleaning up unless I'm hearing a cleanup song. So when I realized it was about the song, baby, we all going through the house singing clean up. So mommy's not the only one cleaning up.
Hold on. I remember that one time I was helping her and I had to mop. I'm not the best mopper. She already knows it. But what I did, I knew that she had a whole lot going on, so I helped her. So I was literally in the kitchen and I'm mopping like this. I'm getting, I work at Wendy's, so you know how to do that mop, right? So I'm doing that thing. Next thing I know, she come up behind me, squeezing me. I said, "Ooh, girl, what's wrong with you?" She said, "Ooh, baby." I said, "Let's go."
He was speaking my love language.
Say less.
He was taking something off of my plate that I didn't have to do. He was speaking my love language.
Say less. Let's go. I'm always ready. Even if I wasn't ready, we gonna get ready. You hear me? That's what I learned. I learned to stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready. Just let's go. So, but that's the thing. Any comments?